Hello and welcome back to another Smoke Signal synopsis. Today I'll be previewing what stories can be found in the September 1st, 2022 edition of the Smoke Signals newspaper. If you'd like to read any of these stories, you can find them in full at smokesignals.org. On our front page, you'll probably first look at photos of tribal members at Willamette Falls on Friday, August 12th, harvesting the traditional Native American first food, lamprey. To the left of those photos, we report the Grand Ronde Education Summit, intended to educate educators on the Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde, returned in person on Wednesday, August 24th. And even after 2 years of only virtual meetings, this year had a record-breaking attendance. You could read more about that story continued on page 5. The last story on the front page shares former Tribal Council member Steve Bob Sr. walked on Thursday, August 11th at the age of 73. We share photos, his story, and his legacy continued on page 8. If you jump over to page 21, we also announce the passing of Jason D. Butler Jr. Our next story we'll be previewing is on page 5. During the Wednesday, August 24th Tribal Council meeting, Council appointed Hopa Valley Tribal member Patrick Melody as the new Tribal Court Chief Judge. We have more about him and more actions from that meeting in that story. A page over, Chinook Nation member Greg Robinson and Grand Ronde Tribal member Anthony Hudson were named the first two Indigenous Placekeeping Artists Fellows selected by the Grand Ronde Tribe. The fellowship offers funds to the artists and is intended to develop them as Indigenous artists in their capacity within the tribe's homelands. You can read that full story and more about the artists on page 6. The Environmental Protection Agency visited Oregon on Wednesday, August 10th. Tribal Council member Kathleen George, also serves as chairwoman of the Oregon Environmental Quality Commission, attended the event. You can read more about who was there as well as why they all gathered on page 7. We have more photos than usual in this edition as events return. On page 7, you can find photos of the fish distribution. On page 9, we have the Chinook Wawa Education Program graduation ceremony. We also have photos of assistant editor and staff writer Danielle Harrison and I at the National Native Media Conference in Phoenix, Arizona, and a full pull-out edition sharing the photos from the 2022 Grand Ronde Contest Powwow. And that was your Smoke Signal synopsis. You can find all these stories now in the PDF version available at smokesignals.org or in the print edition coming to you soon. I'm Kamaya, the social media digital journalist for Smoke Signals.